This is the Happily Living podcast, where we discuss how to better ourselves by developing routines that set us up for a better existence, uncovering deeper connections with nature, and growing awareness, leaving you with a new relationship between you and the world. Let's get into it. Hi guys, and welcome back to another banging episode on the Happily Living podcast. I'm your host, Gabrielle Brown, and I hope you all can look back on your year and be really proud of yourself and everything you've accomplished. Now, usually we look back and we're either really unhappy with the year and glad that it's over, or on the other hand, very content with how it turned out. I, for one, am completely blown away by how incredible this year has been for me and continues to be. In this episode, we are going to discuss New Year's vision boards, starting the new year with a good mindset, manifestations, speaking into existence, figuring out our goals, our dreams, things that we want to be able to learn how we can actually harness the power of in order to get and achieve those goals and dreams of ours, and understanding how affirmations play a part in our overall perspective and well-being. And all of these habits have profoundly changed my life. And as you listen to this, it is Wednesday, January 3rd. I released this episode early because it is the new year. And that means we are already a couple days into the month. So it's time to go after the life we dream of. Now that can sound cliche, but it's serious. It's real out here, folks. Let's get into it. Let's get cracking. Let's crack this bad boy open. Now, when I share with you guys what I've been up to, it isn't to brag. And I'm only prefacing this because I am so unbelievably grateful and mind blown at the same time. And I know how this could come across. Now, people are going to take what I say how they want to regardless. But by communicating to you all my intentions, we can have a more level understanding, and hopefully it can interest you and inspire you the immense impact and power that these changes can have in your life if you take it upon yourself to do so, which I heavily suggest that you do. Alright, now that has been said, this year has been such an incredible year. My vision board for 2023 was to graduate, travel more, get my own house, spend more time with friends and loved ones, read 24 books in a year, be more active, have more awareness to the foods I eat and the products I put on my body, getting into better routines. Now, let me share my end of the year recap of how that went. I traveled to Africa. I traveled to Italy. I graduated with my marine biology degree and minor in marine ecosystem management. I completed my goal of reading 24 books in a year. I focused on whole foods and gut health, and I've grown more understanding in it overall, which is so awesome and fascinating, and I've really gotten to love it. And right alongside that journey, I have discovered a passion for fitness and found it to be an outlet for my stress and a way for me to get energy for my day, benefiting my mental health as well as my overall health. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1, which we love 2-for-1s out here. And as you all know and are currently listening to, I started my very own podcast, which has in itself been such an incredible journey. Getting to create an outlet for others that connects us to our environment and furthers our connection within ourselves is something I am so passionate about and so blessed to be able to create. I have the biggest support from you all, and I am so excited for what's to come this year. Now, among other things this year, I found myself getting back into soccer and violin, and I grew up doing both of these things. And so being able to get back into it has been its own source of joy for me. Getting to be able to get back into it is something that was almost reminiscing, it was nostalgic, and it's fun and exciting, and I didn't think it was going to happen, but I kept saying I want to get back into this, but I wasn't actually doing anything about it. And one of my coworkers was in the orchestra, and somehow we started talking about it because he had his own concert, and he said he would tutor me, and so he's been doing that, and it's been so fun and exciting. And soccer, I watched my boyfriend and his friends play every week in a little group, a little club, and I was like, like, you know what? I'm gonna ask if they have any room for another person. And they did. So it was very, very lighthearted. It wasn't, driven by any means. It just happened. But I don't think it would have happened if I didn't think about it and wanted to do it. And that's a part of like manifestations and affirmations and drawing like energies to things that you want to do. So we're going to get into that more. We're going to talk about how we can make this year an incredible year for all of us to be able to do the things that we want to do, to go after the dreams and goals that we have been so longing for. So I hope this podcast will be an inspiration for you all, and let's get into it. Before I forget, the final thing that happened in the year, among other things, I have the newest edition and I got a house. Yes, I got a house, you guys. I got a house with my absolute best friend. Ben and I are closing on the 22nd, if not sooner, fingers crossed. And we are so thrilled to renovate it and be in our own Chip and Joanna Gaines era. So yes, looking back on this year and the reflection of my vision board, I am so blown away by how much I have achieved and how these habits have been profoundly been a part of this accomplishment. So like I said, we are going to address how to create a vision board, how to set goals for ourselves without limiting ourselves, how we can ultimately switch self-doubt and misbelief in our abilities to changing those overall reflections and perspectives, redirecting our habits through it all. And it can be overwhelming. And honestly, for many, I'm talking 80% who start a vision board quickly fall off by March. You drop these habits and doubt the profound power that these 3 actions can have on your life. You may even be influenced by your surrounding environment, and that is something that may need to change if you want to be the person you dream of. Comparison, doubt, and unsupportive relationships are the major influences on our ability to change the lifestyle we have to the lifestyle we want. One thing that has truly helped me develop such a strong mindset is knowing that all pain and uncomfortability during this transition is completely temporary. It gets so much better. I stopped drinking 2 years ago. It was a problem for me. I struggled personally, and it wasn't helping me in becoming the person I wanted to be. And it took more than a couple tries for it to stick, just like quitting vaping. The uncomfortable middle between the freedom from it and the struggle in it is just temporary. For me, I have friends who are wanting something better for themselves, whether it is to stop drinking, or it is to work out, or maybe it is to get out of an abusive relationship, or maybe it's a friendship that's toxic, but you've been friends since childhood. All of that is immensely difficult to go through. I am not whatsoever trying to devalidate the difficulty of leaving those relationships. This podcast is entirely for support and help, and honestly a source of motivation for you to know that it is possible, okay? So continuing on, all of that is immensely difficult to go through, but the pain to quit and leave it is only temporary. It does not last for the rest of your life. It is hard. That whole situation, the in-between, the temporary feelings, the missing, the addiction almost to like go back to it is so hard, but it is temporary. Now, I am no therapist, but I am sharing my personal experience and support that you may be going through and would benefit from hearing. The difficulty doesn't last forever, but the clarity and strength lies beyond. That may sound deep, but what I mean by that is that the addiction, the need to stay, the scared straight from what could happen beyond if you let go is extremely difficult. But for me, if I would have known that the addiction, that strong craving for my vape pen would completely go away and I wouldn't even think twice about saying no, was something I never knew about, right? I wasn't thinking about that as it was happening. It was just in the moment, I was just like craving for it. I had to find it. You would look for it. Like you would literally try to find it as soon as you would get up, and you wouldn't stop until you got it. You'd care more about it than your phone. And it's almost like being addicted to our phones. But knowing that that would go away, knowing that that was temporary, would have deeply helped me push past the mental threshold that was preventing me from moving forward with myself. It was the same with drinking. I go to parties, I hang out with my friends at bars, but I have no urge to drink at all. But during the struggle to stop, I had such a lack of self-control. But going through it wasn't something that I thought to myself would get better and go away. I was stuck in that present feeling as it came and went. Leaving a relationship that you have been in for most of your life, knowing that it is toxic and unhealthy for yourself, and possibly your children, if you have them, or even for your future life you dream of, but feel stuck and it just isn't the cards for you to take yourself out of it at the moment, is the same mental threshold that addiction has on ourselves. We feel like there isn't something better for us out there, but if you get past that and know all of that pain is temporary, and your future self will be looking back on you and profoundly thanking you and saying, I did that. I did that. That was me. I'm here. I made it through all of that. I accomplished that. I got through it. I don't need other people or toxic relationships to feel whole. I am so much more clear. I have clear mind. I keep getting better and better as each day comes because I am more able to be in tune with my body. You start a path that will lead you to finding out who you really are. Not the arguments and the rage or the feeling of not enough. None of that defines you. You don't need a drink to have fun at parties or stay in that relationship because you think your kids would be better with 2 parents than 1. At the end of the day, whatever your mind keeps bringing you back to, if you keep saying, I want to leave, or I want to quit drinking, or I need to stop vaping, I need to get into the gym, or I need to go to bed sooner, or I need to drink more water, that is your intuitive body telling you that that is what you need to start the journey of becoming the best version of yourself, to live the life of your dreams. You have been wanting to travel? Go travel. If you let go of everything that no longer serves you, there is unexplainable opportunities that present themselves that allow you to be able to do that and go after what you've been desiring. There is a reason as to why we continuously come back to the same desires over and over again, and that is because they were meant to happen for us. Now, you may not believe that, but you're also listening to this episode. If you want to go live in Florida, but you have no family out there and your parents or loved ones aren't supportive of you following your calling, then that is on them, and they will recognize it one day and realize how impactful and important it is to follow that instinct inside of you, because they see how happy you are. They see how much you have grown and found things that really fuel you, and you're just thriving. To be happy is to listen to what we have been telling ourselves for so long and make that uncomfortable switch. Stop watching TV before bed and read. Maybe transition our perspective from saying no to saying yes to the things that we've been longing for. I'm not saying go out and buy a boat. Because you have been thinking about it. Unless this is some unyielding desire and you are some catamaran enthusiast, I'm saying if you want to go live somewhere else, you can. If you want to get out of this relationship, you can. It doesn't matter what is holding you back. It's preventing you from being the better version of yourself. You have to remember that. You have to be like, well, what's stopping me? And it's usually our own mental threshold, or it's usually the fact that we as people aren't really fond of change. We aren't really fond of the unknown. The future scares us. We don't know what could happen, but being in the situation that we are, we always think of the worst. But just as much as we think of the worst, we can think of the best. 50-50 can happen. But what has always worked for me is knowing, relying on the thought that everything happens for a reason. Everything always works out for my highest benefit. And it has. Following that thought has served me so well that I refuse to look back on any other perspective. Why put myself through stress? Why put myself in a situation that I'm not enjoying, that doesn't support me and harness me in being the best person I want to be, that doesn't allow me to be myself unconditionally? Why would I want to surround myself with people who don't love me for me, who would constantly critique the things that I do? I don't want that. I am who I am. I enjoy it. I love it. I'm confident in it because I surround myself in environments that support that love me for being me. And there are times, I'm not gonna lie, there are times where you're not in that environment. But once you continuously push past those thresholds and put yourself in better environments, life is gonna throw your way environments that don't serve you. But the reason for that is to basically challenge your ability, your strength, in continuing that mentality. So if you are in a situation, right, where you want to do something, you want to leave your job, it could be a 9-to-5 job, it could be a career job, you are unhappy and you want to go move to a different state and everyone is telling you not to. Why would you do that? You don't have a job out there. You don't know anyone out there. Right now you have a great job. You're making money. But this is implemented by their own perspective. This is implemented by their own insecurity. Who cares? is. It's scary. You may have tough times, but it'll always work out. It does. It always works out. There could be an opportunity out there for you. There could be people who love and support you. You could meet the love of your life. You could meet people that have networking connections that literally are the string that connects you to your dream job. There are so many different things that could happen. The possibilities are endless, and there's a reason you're being pulled, and you just gotta follow that intuition no matter what other people say. You do. And it sucks because most of the time people aren't mentally strong to push past that mental threshold that's keeping us from going after what we want to do. We get insecure, we get nervous, we start doubting ourselves, and then we start doubting if this is the right thing to do. We start thinking the way other people are thinking, so usually it has a negative perspective. We don't know what could happen. I could fall on my face. I don't have a job. I don't know anyone. I'm lonely. I have no money. I can't make rent. I don't know where I'm gonna live, blah, 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 blah. But like, why? We can't tell the future. Like, we don't see the future. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Why are we putting this negative curtain on ourselves? That's so unnecessary. A lot of people tell me I'm positive and I don't like to hear things that are negative. It's not necessarily that. I don't like hearing things that basically, when you interpret it, comes off as I'm not able to do something. And I'll talk more about that as we, get into it, because there's a couple other things that I do want to talk about, but I will talk about it, I promise. So there are so many opportunities for us in this day and age where we can move, being in the States, and find a different job. I'm a bartender. Now, that isn't my dream job, nor is it permanent, but it allows me to save money and be able to live this side of my life that has been longing for renovation properties and having real estate investments, no matter how many people have told me that wasn't going to happen. How could it? I'm only 23. How do I even have the money? There is so much to owning a house that I don't even know. I'm too young. The market isn't good for buyers right now. You don't know how much comes along with having a house, all the things that go wrong all the time. You won't be able to afford something like that. Slow down. You don't need to do all these new renovations at one time. Take your time. It's all gonna come. Getting a roof replaced, like, that's gonna be $20,000. Like, that's typical. There's no way, like, where do you have this kind of money? Why do you want to own a house? Aren't you gonna be leaving soon? Don't get a house. You shouldn't get a house right now. Just rent. All of these and more, all of these have been consistently told and spoken to me about something I've been intuitively longing for years. And it's been hard. I'm not going to say it hasn't. It's definitely, almost gotten through, where my skin started getting thin, and figuratively. And I would just start feeling those thoughts and I would get nervous. But it's because of people not being able to do it in their life, and so they're worried about me falling flat on my face in my life. But in all honesty, we have to fall and fail to move forward. We do. If we don't fall flat on our face, how are we going to get better? It's when you literally get to your lowest low that you have an extreme change in your life. Like I did. I had a very big low. I stopped drinking. I stopped vaping. And I have completely changed. Not completely. I still love who I am and who I've always been, but there are so many things that perspectively and intuitively that have switched around for me, and it has been so incredible. Like, I literally would have never believed any of this was happening. Like, if I was told I was going to have a house at 23, I was going to have my own podcast, went to Africa, that I went to Italy, that I graduated, I don't know if I would have believed you. But if you research and learn from other people, from your parents, from your siblings, whatever it is, about what they go through when they try to give advice, but you listen to it in a different perspective, instead of taking it personally, you realize that they're saying all the things that they're afraid of, that they're saying all the things that they went through, they're saying all the things that they messed up on and they wish they could go back and fix. So you use that as fuel to make sure it doesn't happen to you. Not in a sense of changing it to where, like, you don't trust me, you don't have faith in me. It's more of like, okay, they struggled with this. So if we're bringing it to a perspective of owning a house, they didn't check certain things in the house and then they got flooding, right? Well, sometimes you can't help that, but other times, you can make sure you do everything possible to make sure that if you have a basement, that it's completely sealed on the outside. If you have old windows, that you replace them. All these different things to to make sure that you don't go through what they do. That if you have, storage or whatever, make sure it's all off the ground so you don't have as big of a loss if there is flooding. You can do things to prepare yourself by listening to your loved ones, to your friends, to surrounding environments in a different perspective because you're mentally strong. We take their struggles and we use it as a learning curve, and it can get overwhelming and it can get frustrating at times, but at the end of the day, we use that as fuel. For me and Ben, we used that as fuel to make sure we did everything we could before buying this house so we wouldn't have to deal with everything they did. And like I said, some things might come along. That's life, but everything always works out. You're still living, aren't you? You got that project done that you wanted to do before deadline, right? You paid your bills last month even though you thought you might not. You were able to get to work on time, or at least made it to work, and everything was all right, didn't it? We have to change our perspective and we have to listen to what we want for ourselves. Everyone else will always blanket you with their worries and insecurities, but they aren't yours to hold on to. This year, go after that house you wanted. This year, go after that car you wanted. Get yourself that extra downtime. Make yourself your number one priority, because when you start doing that, you won't look back and you will be the happiest you have ever been. And like I said, I could not be more unbelievably blessed and blown away by how much I've accomplished. That started from consistency, that started from creating a vision board, that started from going on a self-growth journey and self-love. And that is what I'm now going to share with you. Like I said, it's January 3rd, and that means it's time to crack down on our habits, be accountable for the things that we want to change, and become the person that we respect and like by taking actions as the person we look up to and want to be. If we don't like something that we did, don't do it. Don't do it again. Move on. You can't change it now, but don't do it again. If you don't like talking about people, stop talking about people. You don't like it when other people talk about you. You don't like drama. Don't be the person you don't like. Because once you start being the person that you like and stop the habits that make you the person you don't, you start to respect yourself. And when you start to respect yourself, you start to have confidence and you start to trust yourself. And all of these little things help develop strength, stronger mentality, a different perspective, figuring out who you are, enjoying alone time, being consistent with routine, and ultimately going on the path that allows you to enjoy the life that you're living for yourself. You only get one. Make it the way you want it to. Yes, there's laws, but other than that, there are no rules. There are no rules. And we have to stop creating these false rules on ourselves because of other people's opinions and perspectives. They're not ours. So stop making them yours. I want to be my own independent, self-made woman who has the ability to inspire others to do the same. And not only that, but through that itself, to find beauty in our environment. I want you guys to find beauty and respect and create a strong love for our environment in return by this journey of figuring out who you are. I want to create a major change in the way others view our surroundings and how we take action in protecting it through our everyday lifestyles. Recycle. Stop being lazy and recycle. Rinse it out and throw it in the recycling bin. Take the time to do that. Little habits actually mentally make you stronger because you know you're being a better person. You know you're doing something that protects the environment that you live on. This year, I want to make major waves, and it all starts with goals. I've created goals by breaking them down into different categories. First category is mental health. Second category is financial, and so on. These categories help me further break down and separate what I'm looking at to create or build off of more this year. And once you create these and fill out the categories, you're able to know what you want out of this year. I made my sister a vision board, and it was, you have family, financial, savings, home, personal, mental health, self-care, and I think that's pretty much it. I could be missing some, I don't know, but it's different for everybody. And I'm a very visual person, and a key to visualizing this is by looking it up on Pinterest. So I'll write down everything that I'm wanting, goals, everything that I'm thinking of. It doesn't have to be physical. It can be mental. I have a friend who wanted to do the 80-20 rule, who wanted to have better night routines. 80-20 rule is to stop eating when you're 80% full because you will have a clearer mind. You won't feel fatigued. You'll still be able to be productive and you won't need to take rest after you eat. It's actually really beneficial, but that's not what we're here to talk about. But the point of that is it's not like a physical thing. It's not to get a house. It's maybe to work on something intuitively. So whatever you're longing for this year is valid and it's a goal. And so by doing that, I'm going to show you how I create my own vision board. And first off, you have to have goals that you're looking forward to. Like I said, it doesn't have to be physical. It can be mental. It can be gut related. It can be anything, okay? Anything that you're wanting to change in your life is a goal. Now, You get the gist, but from this point, I would try to find all the pictures that perfectly visualize my goals for this year. So after I have all of my pictures, I go to Canva and I upload them, and I click on a blank template, a wallpaper. Canva's awesome. I love it so much. This isn't a sponsorship, but maybe soon it will be. But I use them for everything. I've used them for school, and I use them for wallpapers. I use them for projects. I use them posters, everything. And it's like making a collage. Now, they do have templates for vision boards, and you can upload photos once you use that template, and you can just drag the photo to whatever photo you want to replace, and it will take that place of that previous photo into the photo that you want for your goal. What I do is I would put in all different pictures, and I include some quotes and manifestations to get more of a diverse collage, and that's about it. You'll have your New Year's 2024 vision board. I sometimes make two. Like I said, I put one as my lock screen on my computer and one on my Google page when I open up the web, and this creates some distance so my vision board doesn't get old real fast and blend into the background. And after that, one of my other things that I consistently do is I focus on journaling every morning, writing affirmations. Affirmations are essentially written down sentences that you desire to come true, and you write them in the present tense as if you already have them. So what you seek is already yours. You have to have that mentality. Now, you fake it till you make it, folks. You do. You really do. Because when you start, it feels weird. It feels fake, but you'll get into it. You'll start realizing, like, these things are actually coming to me. Maybe this actually works. P.S. It does. And from there, you actually start religiously doing affirmations and manifestation. Like an example could be, I have my career job and I am so grateful for it. I am loved and appreciated for the work that I do. I am worthy of my dream job and am creating the career of my dreams. Various things. Now, it doesn't have to be career related. You could say, I am the next world famous influencer. I gain loyal followers every day. I am successful. You could say, I healed. I am healing. I am on the journey of creating the life of my dreams. Various things. These are all like examples. Something without the I ams, because it doesn't have to be I am. You could say, old energy is clearing, new energy is entering, great things are coming. So it can be kind of confusing. It's really particular. Look up affirmations on Pinterest. If you don't have Pinterest, that's okay. I highly suggest that you get a Pinterest because I am a Pinterest girly at heart. I don't have TikTok. I got rid of it. Literally, guys, TikTok. The name of TikTok really means like TikTok, like how much time you spend on it. Like the clock is ticking because you're just scrolling on it. Like it's okay. If you don't get that, I don't know how else to explain it though. And then Instagram, I'm trying to restrict. It's very difficult with the new Reels. Obviously, it's similar to TikTok now, I feel like. Facebook, I don't really get on at all. Twitter, I don't even have anymore. Or sorry, X, whatever it is. But Pinterest. That is something that I have to restrict for myself because I love Pinterest. It's such a great way to get ideas. It's such a great way to find things that interest you, various things. And I just make boards. I really do. And it's helped me figure out renovations for the house. But I digress. So with affirmations and manifestations, they're very similar. Affirmations are written down. Manifestation is almost like a desire. Like you continuously believe the affirmations and you intuitively know that it's coming. You're holding on to energy that is attracting like energy. And what I mean by that is if you have the perspective that you're going to live the life of your dreams, if you have the perspective that you're going to get a house this year, if you have the perspective that you want to leave a relationship and you can see yourself like absolutely thriving and having your own place and your kids are so much more happy, continuously having that thought, it will come true. Because it subconsciously allows your body and your mentality that alter your actions in order to create that pathway of achieving that lifestyle, of achieving that goal. So it really is like, it's not a hack, but it's a hack. It's not a change of coding in your mental computer, but it is. It's a really cool way to change the way you live. And I love it. So like I said, you write these affirmations in the present tense as if you already have them. What you seek is already yours. Because in reality, everything that is meant for you will happen for you regardless of what happens. No one can take that away from you. but yourself. And how that can happen is through the concept of thought. Now, being positive is a strong characteristic, but understanding how to be intelligent and passionate is an even stronger characteristic along the positive strain. So to change your perspective to allow you to magnetize equal vibrational energies is so real and so strong. And that is what I was just talking about. That's what I was essentially discussing with you. So you have to put out into the universe, into the world, what you want to attract. If you are the person honking and throwing the middle finger at everyone that bothers you on the road, you will find yourself always angry at everything and everyone when you drive. If you smile at others, they tend to smile back. Very microscopic examples on the level of vibrational frequencies, but it's more relatable. So that's why I went into them, because I want you to kind of understand it on a easier level. So be observant to your reactions, to your surroundings, and how you take conversations or opportunities when they come to you. If you have a flat tire and you just found out before you're already running late to work, the reasonable feeling that most people would have is anger and frustration and stress. But there is literally nothing you can do about it. The tire can't be fixed because you're pissed. You may be late for the third day in a row, and that makes it even worse. But the best thing for you to do is some box breathing exercises. You may say, I don't have time for this, but do it. So box breathing exercises. You breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, and hold for 4. Okay? Call your boss, tell them the situation, get it fixed. You may not have the funds to get it fixed, and you're already on a tighter budget this month than you intended, and now you're even more stressed and frustrated and disconnected because of all the outside distractions that are currently happening. But what if this is a way that God or the universe or whatever you believe is keeping you safe from being somewhere that you weren't supposed to be, being in the wrong place at the wrong time? That could have been a fatal car crash. That could have been any number of things that you're being protected from. But you can't see that because you're pissed for many valid reasons. Now, I'm not saying you can't be upset and you can't feel frustrated and stressed. These are all valid and very typical for a person to automatically have in this kind of situation. But because they are actions out of your control, take the reins on what you can control, and that is your perspective. Maybe this was an opportunity for you to meet someone when you get it fixed. You could meet the love of your life, or you could meet someone that knows someone who would hire you for that marketing job that you've been desiring. You could even find out more about your car that could save you money in the long run and getting other repairs to it sooner rather than it being even more costly later. It is all you have control over. Perspective. That's it. That's all you can do. Also, who wants to be stressed out all the time and blaming things happening to you? Nothing happens to you, okay? Listen to that again. Nothing happens to you. It happens for you. Everything happens for you to become the best version of yourself. You just aren't paying attention to all the signs and opportunities being presented to you through the fog of daily distractions that seriously don't matter. If we were to pass away tomorrow, in 30 years, no one would remember us. In 100 years, our entire existence would be obsolete. I'm not saying that to frighten you. I'm saying that to inspire you, to take change of your life because you only get one. And no one cares what you said that you regret 5 years ago, 1 week ago, a day ago. No one cares. They moved on. No one remembers, nor does it matter what you did when you made the mistake and you deeply regret buying that jumpsuit. Who I was 5 years ago, even 3 years ago, even a year ago, is not the same person that I am today. Even a week ago. I'm consistently changing. I'm consistently evolving into a better person that I want to be. I have learned that I cannot hold on to the past because that cannot be changed. That prevents me from moving forward with my life and taking actions towards things that I want to accomplish. If I'm just constantly focused on things that I did, if I'm constantly focused on conversations that I had and I should have said something else or I should have gone about it a different way, what does that do? What does that help? Do you think that's going to help future conversations? Maybe, but like for conversations to be real and genuine, they have to be without a template. You can't, it doesn't help to like think about these things. And I'm not a saint about it. Like I still do this and I'm still working on it. Everyone does this. You think about conversations, you think about things ahead of time too, of how it may pan out, whatever it is. And you try to like come up with scenarios or fix the scenario, but that doesn't help. You can't make the future. You can't tell the future. You can't change the past. So doing everything in the moment really makes it more genuine. It also leaves more space in your mind to just be, not stress about things, not care about what people think. It's difficult. I'm not saying it's not. But once you get past that mental threshold, oh my gosh, is it so freeing. It is so freeing. And every single day you get clearer and clearer in your mind and you You find things that you didn't even know you'd want to discover, want to be, want to go after. And it's just so thrilling. It's so energy fueling. It is amazing. If someone didn't give you a good tip when you're serving, it sucks. Move on. There might be someone else. You could be like, and this is something I've learned from a coworker. He's told me it takes one table to make your entire night. So why not keep that head up? Doesn't hurt to have that perspective. Makes your night better. You enjoy it better. You start acting nicer and better. It shows in your temperament. It shows in your mentality. It shows in your conversations. Whatever it is. I give examples so it's relatable. I give examples so you can visually understand how these can be implemented in your day-to-day life. I know who I am and what kind of person I am. And no one can take that away from me. And neither can they for you. So as we wrap up this episode, I hope it was motivational and it helps you set up this upcoming year, because I know there is so much in store. 2024 is going to be a freaking fantastic year. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season and would be so kind in leaving me a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. Tag me on Instagram at Gabrielle.Brown as you listen to this, and we can expand this loving community more and more. I am your host, Gabrielle, and have a wonderful week with love and